up, team? Welcome to another episode, and today we're doing something a little bit new. I think I'm gonna call this Experiment Kitchen. Okay, we'll call it Experiment Kitchen because this is where I see something on Instagram, either Salt Bae or that CZ and Burak guy or any of these chefs on Instagram, Shoku LA, you might have heard of them. They make something really cool that I want to try, and I can't fly all the way around the world to try all these different dishes, so I try to make them here at home. That's exactly what I'm doing today. I saw something on CZ and Burak's Instagram page and on a story, and he had made this calzone looking thing. It's kind of like the Kabob Philly cheesesteak calzone. So that's what I'm gonna make here today. Let's get started. Our ingredients, we have our ground beef, mushrooms, some seasonings, Kabob seasonings, use whatever type of seasoning you want, onions, peppers, green peppers to be exact, mozzarella cheese, and dough. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my meat. All I have here is some ground beef. I chopped up some onions, put it in the ground beef, and then add whatever spices you wanna add. Whatever flavor you like, just do it. And I usually like seekh kebab. It's like just a Pakistani or Indian style or Afghani style kebab. Local grocery store, you should be able to find it. For right now, I didn't have any, so I'm just using some tandoori seasoning here, which should work. Oh, there goes the oven. Preheated the oven to 425 so I can cook this in just a sec. All right, so I'm just gonna add a good amount of seasoning here. Remember, there's gonna be a lot of other stuff in the calzone thing that we're making, so you can go heavy on the spices because you want it to come through with everything else. And I'm just gonna mix it up. You can try, maybe you can even try Montreal or something, whatever you want to try that you think would taste good with like a Philly cheesesteak style flavors. But I like the Pakistani Indian type of flavor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make some kebabs out of this, which I will then put inside of the thing that I'm making. I'm not measuring anything, guys, so just kind of see what I'm making, see what I'm doing, and then decide how you want to make yours. I never measure anything when I cook it. I'm a pro.
What did you say?
I don't need to do that. But I'm saying this is a good size to start out with, and you're just gonna kind of form it into a longer piece. Once you got it getting formed into you want it to be about the length of whatever size calzone you're making. So that's basically what we're going for right there. So I think I'm gonna be able to make about 3 of these bad boys. So let's go, here's the second one. Ooh, it smells good, that's for sure. And remember, these are gonna shrink up and kind of turn into like a, you know, kind of shrink up. So I'm just gonna flatten this guy out a little bit. Like that, flatten him out, because I know it's gonna shrink significantly. And then I'll do 2 more. So like I said, I have the oven preheated to 425 degrees. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw my kebabs in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. There you go. All right, so we got some friends coming over, so they're gonna come eat some food. We got Mandela over here. The cut we're looking for is a rough cut. You don't need it to be perfectly minced. You know, just kind of chop it up like that and chop it up a few times. So that's basically what we're going for right there. You can chop it up a little bit more if you want. All right, now that we've fully chopped our mushrooms, basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these mushrooms and we're gonna spread them out within our pan, try to make it a little even. There we go. I want them to be relatively dense. I have here my mozzarella cheese already shredded, 1 pound, about 4 cups. And I'm gonna add it on top of the mushrooms. I want the mushrooms to cook with the cheese. I want this cheese here to kind of absorb the mushroom juice and like kind of cook together, that's why. So we're just gonna throw it in the oven. It's at 425 for the kebabs already. I added the mushrooms. My kebabs have been in there for about 5 or 6 minutes already. I'm gonna cook it for a total of about 15 minutes. I'm gonna cook my mushrooms for about 5 to 10 minutes as well. The mushrooms need less time. I don't wanna dry out the cheese that's in there. So I'm just adding a little bit of olive oil to my pan, and I'm gonna let that heat up and cut up my onions and peppers. Boom, there you go. So here's a pro tip. I have a plate for the stuff that I cut, and I have a plate for my trash. I'm gonna start with the onions, because that's the first thing I'm gonna fry. I'm gonna use about 1 onion. I have half an onion from yesterday here, so I'll just use the rest of that. We wanna cut them relatively thin, large slices, fajita style. All right, so it's been 20 minutes. We're taking out our kebabs and our mushrooms. As you can see, the mushrooms are nice and gooey. So, taking out our kebabs. Like stack them like that. Stack them and stack them, baby. Give our onions a little toss here. There we go. let it keep going. Next step, dough time. So yesterday I made some dough and I let it rest overnight. Here it is, it's in this big pot. Because you know how I do it. Use any type of dough you want, really. I'm just using like a pizza dough type of dough. I basically took flour, some yeast, and added some butter, a little bit of sugar and salt, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and a little bit of half and half. I find that it makes it a little brioche, a little bit fluffier, and that's just my opinion. I kind of freestyled it and just got the consistency I wanted. But if you don't know how to make dough, just look it up online and figure it out. I have a pizza dough recipe. You can try that, but it takes a little bit longer to make that dough. And you may not want to spend that much time. So I'm gonna take my dough cutter here. I'm gonna take out a good size ball of dough. It's better to go bigger than smaller. So I'm gonna take out a piece of dough about that big. That should work. Once you have your dough cut and you have a work surface that's clean, go ahead and grab some flour, powder your surface. Get some flour on the surface of this table. All right, so that's nice and powder coated. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw that there. I have a rolling pin, which I will use. And what I'll do is I'm gonna just open up this dough and knead it a bit. As you can see, it's real nice and got a lot of tension to it. It's kind of like Play-Doh, so this is what I like. And then once I have a decent dough ball, I'll start to roll it out. Now we're going for a square here. So let me powder my thing, throw some up here. So we're just gonna go ahead and okay, get it going along that way, flip it around, get it coming back into a square. Nice. All right, cool, that should work. Next step, assembly. So here we have our kebabs. So here we go, we have some olive oil. Put some olive oil in my dish, just like that. Just like that, get it up on the sides, grease the pan basically. We have our mushrooms and cheese. So one of the first things you want to do when you get your mushrooms and cheese is you want to drain it because there's going to be a lot of that fluid and you don't want that inside of your calzone. So just, okay, once you've drained the majority of the fluid out, go ahead and grab a spatula. All right, so grab your spatula and remove your cheesy mushroom mix. There you go, until it gets free. There you go. Now we're gonna take this, drain out some of that extra fluid that just came out. I will take my dough here, lay it in my dish. Try to get it in there as nicely as you can. Cool, there we go. Here we go, all right, nice, there you go. Now, we'll just take our mushrooms and cheese and lay it on in there, just like that. Oh yes, hallelujah. Then I'm gonna add a little bit more cheese here at the bottom, just like that. And you get it up on the sides a little bit, that way when you fold it over, it's gonna be everywhere. And then we're gonna take our kebab, it's our big kebab here, and I recommend breaking it up a little bit. Now that we've done that, we're gonna add our peppers on top. Here we go. Boom. There you go. And then you want to basically drown this thing in mozzarella. So yeah, make it even as possible, so when you cook it, it's even. There you go, quite a bit of mozzarella there. I got a little bit of more mozzarella here that I can use. So I'll just break some chunks off in there, add some there, add some here. So that's pretty much it. Now, time to fold the bad boy up. I'm gonna start with this side, just because there's less dough there. And then I'm gonna fold this over, just like that. And I will try to scrunch it up a bit. I'll fold this side over, kind of like a burrito. Try to get this dough coming up a little bit short. And go ahead and squeeze her up a bit, shape her. Oh, this is gonna be nuts. To crimp it up around the edges just a bit, just in case. All right, cool. So that should bake nice and easy. I've got the oven at 425. I'm gonna just put it down to 400. We're gonna throw this guy in there for about 30 minutes. I'll see you in 30 minutes.
8 tic-tacs later.
So it's been about 34 minutes. The calzone is done. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out of the oven. There it is, the beautiful thing. And I got an extra bonus for you. I had some extra dough. So I made a couple of steam buns using the drippings from the kebabs that I made. I added them into this foil packet and made a couple of nice steam buns. Oh yeah, well I'll turn it into one. That is good. So basically, I just took the dough, I put it in this foil with the meat drippings and baked it with the calzone. Time to remove the calzone. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen it up from the bottom, make sure that it's removable. See if we can get the bad boy out. We got it. That was a success. Cheese is good. Look at this cheese, this extra burnt cheese right here. Wow. We're gonna let it rest for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Are they tired?
It's hot,
From
it's
the
steamy,
heat?
it's juicy. We need it all to like coagulate and chill out for like 2 seconds.
3 days later.
All right guys, I've let my calzone cool off for about 5 minutes here. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting, but it still looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it like right here towards the end. I think this is the good side, so let's go ahead and cut right down the middle. Oh yeah. A little bit of a cheese pull there, but you can definitely tell it's super cheesy. Wow, that looks amazing. Look at that.
Are you also cheesy?
Yeah, I am. So I think I'm gonna start eating from this side. I'm gonna cut a piece off of this side too. This is like a messier side, look at that. Ooh yeah. Throw that on a plate. Got this right there. Little cross-section action going on. All right, so I'm gonna try my delicious creation here. Let's see how it came out. Break off a big piece here. Cheesy peppers, kabob. We got a bite with everything in there, as you can see. Get some of the bread. Show you guys what's going on here. Ooh, it looks hot. I'm worried. Wow. That's bomb. Whatever you do, whatever spices you put in your beef for the kebabs, make sure you put a lot and you really like the flavor, because that's gonna come out a lot in this dish, and it's really delicious the way I did mine. And the mushrooms with the cheese is so good. Whoa. That's excellent. Philly cheesesteak vibes going on. The mushrooms, the cheese is bomb. Whoa. I've got a lot of food to finish here. Luckily, I'm not all alone. I got a couple of friends to help me finish this. But for now, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you try this out at home. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Just do it.